What's happening, YouTube? Jonathan Pariente, the Education 10 here, coming at you guys with another video. I want to ask you guys to please continue to check and subscribe to my channel for more YouTube videos. And please listen in to the Downtown Sports Podcast on Spotify for Creators, and many other platforms. We will be joined Tuesday by the Professional Fanatics Podcast, and we will also be on their live stream as well on Tuesday, beginning first with them joining us at 7 p.m. Well, as I've been talking about for the last few weeks, the postseason, baseball, we probably saw and witnessed one of the most amazing World Series, probably in recent memory. You know, you'll have fans talking about, well, baseball's a long season, it's boring, it's this and that. This World Series, I hope, put all those doubts about what people thought about baseball to bed. It's an amazing sport when you actually get a chance to watch it in its entirety and really understand the hard work and sacrifice to play over 162 games throughout basically about a 9-month period altogether. And that's what we saw here. The LA Dodgers, congratulations to the Dodgers, repeating as World Series champions. They had to come back from 3-2 down. At times it looked like the Blue Jays were the stronger team in the series, and many people can rightfully say so. But it doesn't always mean the better team always wins. It comes down to who executes at the end, who makes the big plays, who makes the big pitches, who gets the clutch hits. Sometimes a lot of luck is thrown in. Just ask Game 6 with a ball lodged in the wall. And there you have it. The Dodgers found a way to beat the Blue Jays. And give the Blue Jays a lot of credit. They played a very spirited game. They fought all the way to the end. You really can't hang your head on them. They left it all out there. But the reality is, the Dodgers, with the depth that they have, and of course having a amazing pitcher in Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who went on to become the World Series MVP. And for him to pitch consecutive days after he threw about 100 pitches in Game 6, and he still was able to throw about 30 pitches in relief and get the victory, tells you a lot where he was willing to go to make sure the Dodgers took home the World Series title. This game was not without unsung heroes. Bo Bichette, who was playing banged up, he led things off, hit a 3-run home run. So the Blue Jays were instantly up 3-0, and you felt that would probably be the difference maker, right? You know, Scherzer was pitching pretty good. Schneider was pressing the right buttons at that point, going to the pen. But here was the problem. The Blue Jays, they scored 4 runs at the end of it. They went up 4-2. It was in the 7th inning. You felt like the Blue Jays had all the numbers lined up in their favor, especially because the last 6 outs, if they had recorded them all without getting a base runner, you would have not faced Freeman. You would not have faced Ohtani. It was literally from Mookie Betts down the bottom half of the lineup. And give credit. The bottom half of the lineup stepped up with big hits. Max Muncy, who had been barely hitting 200 in this whole series, hit a big home run and made it 4-3. And then in the 9th inning, Jeff Hoffman, who was 2 outs away from sealing the deal, the number 9 hitter in the lineup, Miguel Rojas, hit a home run off of Hoffman. Tied the game at 4, and you kind of were starting to think, here we go again, if you were a Toronto Blue Jays fan. And the Blue Jays had their chances. They had a chance in the 9th. They could have won it right there, and Ernie Clement hit a drive that thought for sure was going to be the game winner. Kike didn't have a great read on it, but along came Andy Pages, who also came in as a substitution late, and he made a big play, saving the World Series, saving the championship for the Dodgers. Otherwise, Blue Jays win. There was also a fielder's choice earlier. Little controversy. People thought Will Smith's foot came off the bag for a split second, but he kept it on and got it back on just at the last moment. That could have been game over if Rojas messed up on that throw home. It could have easily just been a double play to end it. 11th inning, Will Smith, 2-out home run off of Shane Bieber. And then the Blue Jays had one more chance. They had 2 runners on, first and third, 1 out. Alejandro Kirk banged into a double play. And he's one of the slowest runners on the Blue Jays. I mean, and it was against Yamamoto. What more could you do? That was Yamamoto's 3rd inning of work at that point. So, yes, for Toronto, you have nothing to be ashamed of. Would have been amazing for Toronto to have won this series. Would have been great for Don Mattingly, who finally got to a World Series but never got to win one. So you have to wonder now. Obviously, the Dodgers have established a dynasty, winning their 3rd title in 6 years. And winning their first time since the Yankees to win back-to-back titles. So you have to start asking yourself, who's going to beat the Dodgers? Are the Jays going to get back here again? Honestly, I don't know if the Jays can get back here again. You're playing in the AL East. It's a tough division in itself. And to come up short when the game was right on your bat and you had it all lined up to win the game and you did not execute. This is going to sting the Blue Jays for a very long time. And who knows if they'll recover from this. Several of their team are going to be free agents after this. Starting now, actually. Bo Bichette is a free agent. I'm sure he wants to stay a Blue Jay. But can they afford to keep him? Max Scherzer is 41 years old. He's hinted he has not thrown his last pitch yet. But what do you do with Scherzer? George Springer, he has a couple more years on his contract. But he's 36 years old. He had an amazing season this year. He finally kind of turned back the clock a bit. I don't know if you're going to see that again. Vlad Guerrero Jr. hit basically 400 for the entire playoff. And again, you don't know if you're going to get back here again. I don't know if the Blue Jays are going to be that same team that doesn't strike out like they did this year. I don't think you're going to be seeing that again next year. It's going to be a very different Blue Jays team possibly next year. And sometimes you may only get one shot. As the song goes by Eminem in 8 Mile. One shot. If you had to seize everything you ever wanted. Yeah. Just a little food for thought, the Lose Yourself song. We're going to have to see now what happens in the offseason. There are going to be a lot of decisions the Blue Jays have to make. Because obviously the Dodgers are going to have an offseason where they're going to be all out spending money. They're going to be trying to get the next big pitcher on their staff to further strengthen them even more. And you have to wonder how will baseball teams around the league be able to even compete with the Dodgers. You have the possible threat of a lockout looming by the end of 2026. And next year we're going to have the ABS system introduced. So you'll be seeing balls and strikes being challenged. So a lot of discussions and decisions the Blue Jays are going to have to make next year as other teams are going to also be trying to make adjustments next season. So for the Dodgers, congratulations on their World Series title. Blue Jays gave this everything they had. But unfortunately, only one could win the title and someone has to lose. It's tough. It's very tough. The feeling of it stings. As you saw in the eyes of many of the Blue Jays, it hurt. Fans were devastated. It's how you bounce back. We're going to see what happens. But now, the MLB offseason begins. Jonathan Pariente, Execution 10, saying bye for now.